If there's one thing I remember about the late 90s and early 2000s, it was the prevalence of extreme sports. A friend of mine had the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games for the PS1. An extremely goofy movie was part of my summer camp's collection of VHS tapes that were on standby should weather sideline outside activities. One of my favorite shows at the time was Rocket Power, a time capsule of that particular moment in time when extreme sports were all the rage. But more importantly, this was the era when Jackass hit the scene and became one of the most awesomely horrifying things on TV. But in spite of how dangerous the show was, safety was one of the most important things put into consideration when the guys did their stunts. The phrase, "Please don't try this at home," was absolutely meant for Jackass. So what happens when you get some rowdy teens and young adults looking for the ultimate thrill without looking out for their well-being? Let's find out with Danger Rangers' second episode, Wild Wheels. Originally airing on September 10th, 2005. A normal day for locals and tourists in New York City is suddenly upended by a trio of delinquents: Rusty Ringtail, Snarf, and Chili Dog.
We have company, fellas!
The three manage to evade the police by going down into the sewers. Meanwhile, in a skate park, a group of kids see the three emerge and ride off. Wanting to emulate these bad boys, the dog and pig ditch their safety gear and go after them. The monkey reluctantly follows behind. The pig's attempts at appeasing Rusty fall flat when he bumps him into an abandoned building.
No, but we're bad enough to do this!
Meanwhile, back at Danger Rangers HQ, Sully wants to steal Rogel and Podorf's jobs.
You know what the Danger Rangers need?
Not a theme song.
A theme song!
But before the most one-sided pillow fight in history can begin, Sabo chimes in with a safety alert, detailing what just transpired in New York. Turns out the attempt to save the pig isn't going well. Sully and Kitty go after the pig, Burble takes the dog, and...
Oh, sure. Leave me and bite with the 900-pound girl, Rilla.
That is a chimpanzee, my little cheese heaver, and she is no more than 60 pounds dripping wet.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
As Burble chases after the dog, he ends up finding his way into a construction site.
Give me a danger scan on the immediate area.
Construction sites look like exciting places, but they are not for fun.
There are big holes you can fall into, big machines that can bump you bad, all sorts of dangerous tools and equipment.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, you're one of the Danger Rangers. Am I in trouble?
Kid, if you ever get saved by a Danger Ranger, chances are you are definitely in trouble. Sully and Kitty, meanwhile, rescue the pig with no muss or fuss. Okay, maybe a little fuss.
Give me your safety line.
Oh, okay, I got a good one. Kids, always be Danger Ranger ready. And how was that? Not bad, huh?
Nice, Sully, but I meant this line.
Oh, yeah.
Bert and Squeaky, well...
Looks like a job for my new rodent rocket launcher.
Now, why do I not like the sound of that?
It's my latest invention.
How's it work?
Once the three are back on solid ground, the Rangers interrogate them on why they were riding so recklessly. When they bring up the trio of delinquents, Kitty has Sabo scan the area to locate them. Meanwhile, the kids are rightfully punished for their misdeeds by starring in the episode's first musical number.
You're riding on skates, and you start to swerve. When you're racing your bike, do you like a dangerous curve? You like to ride your skateboard in front of automobiles? The golden rule is you gotta be cool when you're riding on wheels.
Wheels is the first solo effort for Kevin Michael Richardson, and we're all better for it. Okay, that trio of public service worker cats are here as well, but they don't get the top billing, do they?
What I'm talking about is cause you gotta watch out when you're riding on wheels.
Wheels is an alright song. Nothing too spectacular to write home about, but given how Rogel has to write 2 songs per episode from here on out, not all of them are going to be winners. The song's saving grace is Kevin, which is always a treat. Once the song ends, Savo alerts the team to some security cam footage he found, showing Rusty bumping the pig into the abandoned warehouse. Burble immediately recognizes Rusty as a teenager he once wrote up for refusing to wear proper protection while out inline skating. Not long after, the raccoon ended up in jail. Burble feels bad that he couldn't properly get through to him, so he hopes them crossing paths again will have a better outcome. As Sully alerts the proper authorities, the polar bear suggests the team search an old junkyard near a wharf that Rusty used to hang around. We then see our trio at said junkyard, which has been turned into a makeshift skate park. Rusty is looking to perform the stunt to end all stunts, riding his way up to the torch of the Statue of Liberty, the notoriety giving him the attention he needs to make a new extreme skate park that I'm sure won't become a crime scene in the making.
No one stops Rusty Ringtail!
Except me.
Still a big unbearable do-gooder, Burble?
Burble finally reunites with Rusty, though the reunion is quite bitter. Burble has come to apologize to Rusty for not trying hard enough to ultimately keep him out of jail.
Oh. Burble, you came all the way down here for me?
Well, you're worth it.
Wow. Well, no one's ever cared for me before.
Rusty seems to realize this and starts coming around, promising to do better, but it's all a trap. The raccoon steals Burble's Savo watch while Snarf and Chili Dog trap him inside a large shipping crate. As the trio head off to enact their stunt, Burble manages to retrieve his Savo watch and alert the rest of the team, who are currently boarding the old warehouse back up. The Rangers make it to the junkyard, but not before Rusty attacks it with a large magnet and throws it into a trash compactor. With the Rangers seemingly about to be crushed to a pulp, Bert reveals a new drill attachment for the hovercraft, which allows them to escape and free Burble. Bert, what is it with you and drills recently? Storyboarding duties for this episode lied solely in the hands of Lou Scarborough. Scarborough had been in the field of animation starting in the 1970s, working as an animator for Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure. Following that, he would bounce between animating and storyboarding, getting positions for the likes of Rock and Rule, Brave Star, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Quest for Camelot, just to name a few. He also helped a certain game company learn how to do proper traditional animation for an upcoming game of theirs. Said company was Humongous Entertainment, and said game was the very first Freddy Fish game. Like almost everyone else on this show, Scarborough also has Chalkzone connections, storyboarding 10 episodes. Sadly, in 2013, Scarborough passed away at the age of 60 from complications of colon cancer. Our mischievous trio are now en route to the Statue of Liberty via a large number of ramps all over the city, something Burble immediately notices as a death trap in the making. Sully and Kitty take to the skies.
After him! What's it gonna take to shake these guys?
How about a flame fur?
A flame fur? What's a flame fur?
It's a flame for toasting Danger Rangers!
Okay, we've gone from troublesome delinquent to borderline James Bond villain at this rate with Rusty. I'd ask how much this is costing him, but given his criminal record, I wouldn't be shocked if he's robbed banks before. The ramps inevitably start to fall apart, sending Snarf and Chili Dog towards their doom. Sully and Kitty save them from certain death, but Rusty still gets away.
I want to give you one last chance to make smart choices, Rusty.
Make this!
Whoa!
Don't worry, Burble. I'm sure the Ninja Turtles will make quick work of him. Burble and Rusty ultimately have one final confrontation, but without thinking, Rusty attempts to flush the polar bear out, only for it to backfire when it goes after him instead. He's able to make it back to the surface, but the momentum puts him in harm's way as he's forced to weave through New York traffic. The polar bear quickly gives chase, but in the end, Rusty trips on a park bench and ends up trapped in a trash bin. A little while later, the three are patched up and put in the back of an ambulance. Rusty vows revenge, but Snarf and Chili Dog want no part, as their injuries have made it abundantly clear that they'll be using protective gear from here on out.
Well, Rusty, you've heard the last from us.
Yeah, and from now on it's helmets and pads and no pain.
The Rangers show empathy towards Burble over the fact Rusty still won't listen to reason, but the polar bear hopes that someday, the raccoon will come to his senses. Our epilogue this time around sees the Rangers hosting a bike safety clinic at a local park.
A bike that's too big or too small will be hard to control.
Right. So have a grown-up help you do this test. When you're standing on the ground, you should have a 1 to 3 inch gap between you and the top bar.
You'll need even more room if you're riding a mountain bike.
Also, check to see if your bike seat is adjusted to the proper height.
When you're sitting on the seat with your foot on the pedal, your leg should be slightly bent. This will help you avoid knee strain.
Check the bike's chain to make sure it's clean and lubricated.
Hey, you can't say lubricate.
After a nice discussion on proper bike care, we get our last musical number for the episode, Rules of the Road.
You're riding on your skateboard, thinking what a great board. I don't need a helmet or pants. Then you hit a bump, your head has got a lump, and the pain you're feeling hurts really bad.
Of the two songs, this is easily the better of the two. Once again, we have Kevin on lead vocals, this time with a jazzier instrumental, lyrics that flow a bit more, and easily one of the most jarring whiplashes between the upbeat song and the outright dark music video, showing our three kids from earlier just getting absolutely wrecked in accidents. Like, the chalk outline is a bit much, you guys.
You're riding on your razor, shooting like a laser, passing everybody inside. You're knocking people off the sidewalk, thinking it's a wide walk, swerving to the left and the right.
The episode ends with Fallbot getting a Danger Rangers Safety Seal of Approval award as we pan out to reveal the most confusing mall courtyard ever drawn. Wild Wheels, in my opinion, is where the show really starts to find its footing. Rusty Ringtail makes for a much more interesting villain than Octodon. We see him openly create public disturbances, he has a personal connection to one of the Rangers, and Roche flings a light into the future for the possibility that he might return in a future episode. Roche also really shouldn't have used a monkey's paw. But yeah, let's talk about that relationship between Burble and Rusty. It's going to become quite apparent further down the line that Burble seemed to be Roche's favorite Ranger of the bunch to write for, as he's the one that's given the most backstory over the course of this show. We see that in full force here, not only with Burble's previous encounter with the raccoon, but also the fact that Burble and Rusty both grew up on the streets at some point in their childhoods.
You can't stop me. I grew up on these streets.
I grew up on these streets too, Rusty, and I learned how dangerous they can be when you don't think about safety first.
Safety, safety, safety. Safety's for losers.
Jail is for losers.
This will get touched upon further down the line. But look, let's not beat around the bush here. I don't know exactly how old Rusty is. He looks to be in his mid to late teens. But did Roche seriously have to write these two to act like bitter exes? I seriously can't be the only one that sees that, right?
Still a big unbearable do-gooder, Burble?
Still think it's cool to be bad as you can be, Rusty?
Cooler than being a danger loser any day. Well, no one's ever cared for me before. Oh, it's so hard to do the right thing without someone showing you the way. I'll try harder. I promise I will.
Hang on, let me check something. Yeah, that doesn't shock me. But back on track. Rusty was a portrait of everything that was wrong with the extreme sports attitude of the time period. Adrenaline junkies who, while experts at their craft, go to extreme lengths to get that ultimate rush. An insane stunt like skating up to the Statue of Liberty is risky enough, but to do so without any safety precautions, let alone gear that would quote-unquote slow us down, is a borderline death sentence. Burble doesn't just want Rusty to wear proper safety gear when he's out biking and blading, he doesn't want to see Rusty in the obituaries. And if that doesn't get you to wear your helmet, I don't know what will.
Protect your head when you ride, cause it's got your brain inside.
Okay, yeah, that'll probably do it. Next time, the villains get even more weird as Boston experiences a series of freak accidents on playgrounds. And why exactly are there toys hidden inside the playground equipment?